Stepdad announced. At reunion. My son's business is family business, 30% each. I said nothing. Week later, my accountant sent him an email about legally binding. After hour, he called 14 times, panicking. The beer bottle clinked against the fork. Metallic sound cutting through backyard conversation. Can I have everyone's attention for a minute? My stepfather Rick stood 3 steps up on my Aunt Linda's deck. 40 relatives turned to look at him. He wasn't smiling his usual casual smile. This was something else. Wider. Prepared. I set down my burger. Something in my chest tightened. I want to talk about family, Rick began. About building something together. Murmurs of agreement from the crowd. Uncle Joe nodded near the grill. Marcus here, he gestured at me. My stepson, brilliant attorney, built Thompson Legal from nothing 8 years ago. I'd driven 90 minutes for this reunion. Hadn't seen most of these people in 18 months. Rick had been unusually friendly when I arrived. Now I understood why. What people don't know is we built it, together, from day one. My jaw clenched. That wasn't true. Rick pulled an index card from his pocket. He'd written notes. This wasn't spontaneous. Today I'm announcing our formal partnership structure. Fair equity split. He read from the card. 30% for me. Recognition of my mentorship and early investment. Uncle Joe was nodding. My mother's hands went to her face. 30% for Sarah, my wife. Family support matters. Mom started crying. Happy tears. 30% for Marcus. His hard work. I sat frozen. This was the first I was hearing about any of this. And 10% trust fund for future grandchildren. Building a legacy. The backyard erupted. Applause, whistles, Aunt Linda hugging my mother, Uncle Joe shaking Rick's hand. My calculator brain kicked in automatically. Thompson Legal worth approximately $750,000. 30% was $225,000. Rick was claiming $225,000 of my firm. Rick had zero ownership, not one share, never had. And I'd said nothing. Family reunions are like theater productions where everyone knows their role. Rick decided to improvise his. Marcus was about to fact-check the script. I stood up, set my plate on the table, walked straight through the side gate to the driveway. Marcus, where you going? Uncle Joe called. Didn't answer. Got in my car, started the engine. Marcus, wait! My mother running across the lawn. She reached my window, confused, hurt. What's wrong? This is good news. I lowered the window. We'll talk later. But the partnership, we've been planning. I have to go. He's been so excited to make it official. Make what official, Mom? She looked genuinely puzzled. The partnership. You two worked on this for months. We haven't worked on anything. But Rick said, I pulled out. Left her standing in the driveway. Got home 20 minutes later. Went straight to my filing cabinet. Second drawer. Pulled the file labeled Rick Thompson. Yes, I keep files on family members who touch my business. Occupational hazard. 4 documents inside. Loan agreement from 7 years ago. Rick lent me $8,000 for office deposit. I'd been desperate. Fresh out of law school. Bank record. 6 months later, I paid him $10,000. Principal plus $2,000. Thank you bonus. Consulting contract. Following year, I hired Rick for 6 months at $3,000 per month. Specific deliverables. He sent me invoices. Professional invoices. Final invoice. $18,000 total. Paid in full. I did the math. Rick's total compensation. $28,000. All paid 7 years ago. His involvement since then? 0. Didn't work at my firm. Had no office. Took no calls. Now he wanted 30%. $225,000. For work I'd already paid for. 800% return on completed transactions. I opened my LLC formation documents on laptop. Thompson Legal, established 8 years ago. Member list. Marcus Thompson, 100% ownership. No amendments, no partners, no equity splits, just me. Created new folder, documentation. Started scanning everything. Phone rang. Mom. I let it ring twice before answering. Marcus, what happened? Rick is so hurt. Did Rick tell you he was announcing that today? Of course, we planned for weeks. He planned, Mom, not we. What do you mean? I never agreed to give Rick 30% of my firm. Silence. But he helped you build it. 7 years ago, I paid him back, with interest, plus hired him for 6 months, paid $18,000. That's not the same as recognizing Rick sent me invoices. HE made it transactional. Family doesn't keep score. I gave him $28,000 total. That's not nothing. Can't you give him something for peace? I just told you. 28,000. That was something. Hung up. Next morning, I called my accountant. Jennifer Chen handled my firm finances for 4 years. She answered third ring. Marcus, it's Sunday. Rick announced yesterday he owns 30% of my firm. Beat of silence. Does he? No. Has he ever? No. What on earth? I explained. The announcement, the loan repayment, the consulting invoices, the LLC documents. You have the repayment records? She asked. Bank transfer, fully documented. Consulting invoices? 6 months worth. His signatures. LLC documents? Sole ownership, never amended. Keys clicking on her end. Marcus, Rick has 0 legal claim, but he told your whole family he does. Can you prepare financial summary, show him real numbers? Want me to send it? Yeah, but Monday. I need to think about timing. This is complete nonsense, you know. I know. That afternoon I opened Facebook. First time in weeks. Rick's post from yesterday sat at top of feed. Posted around 11 in the morning. Photo of Rick next to brand new Silverado truck. Black. Chrome package. Caption. Big changes coming. Investment finally paying off. Posted 6 hours before his reunion announcement. Comments full of congratulations. One friend asked about financing. Rick replied, got it covered. I Googled pricing. Silverado High Country started at $68,000. Rick's consulting business made maybe $40,000 yearly. Math didn't work unless he'd borrowed against future payout. Against partnership that didn't exist. Checked his LinkedIn. Hadn't looked in months. Headline now read, Senior Partner, Thompson Legal Consulting. About section, co-founder of Thompson Legal, specializing in business litigation and contract disputes. Co-founder of my firm that I built alone. This wasn't family drama, this was fraud. Phone buzzed. Text from Rick. Lawyer appointment Monday 9 a.m. Henderson and Associates downtown. Bring business docs, LLC, tax returns, client list, time to make partnership official. He'd scheduled lawyer without asking me. Wanted my business documents to formalize partnership I'd never agreed to. Screenshot. Added to documentation folder. Emailed Jennifer. Need summary before 9 a.m. Monday. Rick scheduled lawyer appointment. Attached text. He needs to see real numbers before that meeting. Jennifer replied instantly. We'll send documentation to Rick Monday morning. This is insane. Set phone down. Tomorrow would be interesting. Rick scheduled a lawyer appointment the way normal people schedule haircuts. Casual. Confident. Forgetting the minor detail that partnerships require 2 people to agree. Rick had scheduled a meeting for 1. Jennifer's office lights were already on when I pulled into the parking lot. 5 minutes past 7. Her car sat alone near the entrance. She opened the door before I knocked. Been here since 5. Couldn't sleep. Her conference room table was covered in printed documents, organized into stacks, color-coded tabs. Jennifer didn't do half measures. Complete financial summary. She slid a folder across. Timeline, transaction records, LLC documentation, everything. I flipped through. First page showed Rick's involvement. August 2018 to September 2019. 14 months total. Second page broke down numbers. $8,000 loan, repaid at $10,000. 6 months, consulting at $3,000 per month, $18,000 total. Third page showed LLC formation. Marcus Thompson, 100% owner. No amendments filed. Current firm valuation $750,000, Jennifer said. Rick claims 30%. That's $225,000. For $28,000 in compensation he already received 7 years ago. She pulled out more papers. Found these last night. Rick's LinkedIn profile. The printout showed his headline. Senior partner, Thompson Legal Consulting. He changed it Saturday, she said. Same day as your reunion. His About section now says co-founder. She spread out more pages. His website, check the contact information. My office address. Rick listed my firm's physical location as his business address. There's more. Client reviews on Google. 3 separate people mentioned Thompson Legal by name. They think they hired your firm through Rick. My jaw tightened. How long has this been going on? Website domain registered 14 months ago. Reviews span the past year. Rick hadn't just lied at the reunion. He'd been building this fiction for over a year, using my firm's name, my reputation, my address. This isn't family drama anymore, Jennifer said. This is identity fraud. Can you send him this? The financial summary? When? I checked my phone. Rick's text from last night still on screen. Lawyer appointment 9 a.m. 8:47, 13 minutes before his appointment. Jennifer smiled. Subject line? RE, partnership claims. Legally binding documentation. There's no partnership to bind. Exactly the point. She opened her laptop, started typing. Heading to your office? Yeah, want to be there when it lands. 20 minutes later, I sat at my desk, phone face up, 8:46. The email notification appeared at 8:47 exactly. From Jennifer Chen, CPA2, Richard Thompson. CC, Marcus Thompson. Subject, RE, partnership. Claims, legally binding documentation. I opened it. Richard, per your request to formalize partnership claims in Thompson Legal, please find attached complete financial documentation of your involvement. Summary. 2018 loan, $8,000. Repaid $10,000, 125% return. 2019 consulting. $18,000 paid in full per signed invoices. Total compensation, $28,000. Current ownership, 0%. See LLC documents. Partnership agreements, none executed. Legal claim to equity, none. All transactions completed 7 years ago. No ongoing financial relationship exists. Please correct any public statements claiming partnership or ownership as they contradict legal documentation. Jennifer Chen, CPA, Thompson Legal Financial Services. 12 pages of attachments. Every receipt. Every bank transfer. Every invoice with Rick's signature. LLC formation documents with my name as sole owner. I put the phone down. Opened the case file on my desk. Had a client meeting at 10:30. Might as well prepare. 9:02. Phone lit up. Rick calling. Sent a voicemail. 9:03. Rick again. Voicemail. 9:04. Third call. Voicemail. The calls kept coming. I muted the phone after number 6. Just watch the screen light up. 14 calls total over the next hour and 13 minutes. Between calls, texts started arriving. Call me. This is not funny. I'm at lawyer office alone. Mom wants to talk to you. Can't believe you'd embarrass me. Please, Marcus, I'm begging you. I screenshot each one, saved them to the documentation folder. Around 11, I played the voicemails on speaker while reviewing contracts. Voicemail 1, 9:02. Marcus, what is this email? Call me, now. Voicemail 3, 9:06. This is ridiculous. I helped you when you had nothing. Jennifer's trying to humiliate me. Call me back. Voicemail 5, 9:15. I'm at the lawyer's office. You're not coming? We had an appointment. Call me. Voicemail 7, 9:31. Your mother is crying. She can't understand why you're doing this. Family doesn't treat family this way. Voicemails. 9:48. I already told people about the partnership. Do you know how this makes me look? Voicemail. 11:10:01. I bought a truck based on this. I have payments. You can't just... Please call me back. Voicemail. 14:10:15. His voice cracking. I'm sorry, okay? I'm sorry. I thought you understood. I thought we were family. Please, just call me. I deleted all 14, added the call log to documentation. My associate David walked past my open door. Paused. You okay? Phone's been lighting up all morning? Family stuff, nothing urgent. You sure? Positive. Can you pull the Morrison deposition transcript? Need it for 10:30? On it. Client meeting went fine. Contract dispute. Straightforward resolution. By the time I finished, it was almost 3. My receptionist Jessica buzzed. Her voice had that particular tone, the one that meant problem. Marcus, your stepfather is here. Does he have an appointment? No, he says it's an emergency. I looked at my desk. Clean. No sensitive files visible. Give me 2 minutes, then send him back. Put on my suit jacket, sat behind the desk, power position. Opened my laptop to the LLC documents. Visual reminder. Knock on door. Come in. Rick looked terrible. Eyes red and puffy. Shirt wrinkled like he'd slept in it. Sweat on his forehead despite the air conditioning. Marcus, finally. He didn't wait for invitation, dropped into the client chair across from me. That email, Jennifer's email. What about it? It makes me look like a liar. I kept my face neutral. Does it? You know I helped you. You know that. I do know, and I paid you $28,000. That wasn't payment. That was just transaction. You sent me invoices with your signature for $3,000 per month. He was breathing hard. My advice was worth more than $18,000. Then you should have charged more. You didn't. Because we're family. So family charges family $3,000 per month, but then retroactively deserves $225,000 more. Explain that math. It's not about math. It's a business, Rick. Everything's about math. He stood up, started pacing. 3 steps to the wall, turn, 3 steps back. I already told people, at the reunion, at my lawyer appointment this morning, I told my truck dealer. I straightened in my chair. Your truck dealer? He froze, realized what he'd said. What about your truck dealer, Rick? His face went pale. I bought a truck. Saturday. Before or after the reunion announcement? Before. But I was planning to announce, you bought a $68,000 truck based on a partnership that didn't exist? It does exist. We're partners. Show me documentation. What? Show me the partnership agreement, operating agreement amendment, anything legal proving I gave you equity. Silence. You can't, because it doesn't exist. You said, I never said anything. You announced it without asking me first. But you never stopped me. Rick, silence isn't consent, especially in law. He sank back into the chair, deflated. The truck dealer keeps calling. They want paperwork. What paperwork? They want to verify the partnership. For the loan approval. My hands gripped the armrests. Did you show them fake partnership documents? Not fake, just preliminary. Preliminary documents for a partnership that doesn't exist? I thought you'd agree once you saw how serious. Get out of my office. Marcus. Now. I pressed the intercom. Jessica, can you have building security escort Mr. Thompson out? Marcus, please. 2 minutes later, the security guard appeared at my door. Rick stood slowly. Shoulders slumped. Walked out without another word. Rick bought a truck with fake paperwork. Most people call that fraud. Rick called it being proactive. The bank would call it repossession. That evening around 7:30, someone knocked on my condo door. I checked the peephole. Mom. Debated not answering. Opened the door anyway. She walked past me without invitation. Face blotchy. Eyes swollen from crying. You humiliated him. I corrected his lie. He helped you. And I paid him. Want to see the receipts? This isn't about receipts. It's about family. Family doesn't announce fake partnerships at reunions. She paced my living room, back and forth. You could have talked to him privately. He announced it publicly, with 35 witnesses. I responded with documentation. Everyone thinks Rick is a liar now. Because he lied. She stopped, turned to face me. Can't you just give him something, some percentage, to save face? Give him $225,000 to save face? Not that much, just something. I already gave him something, $28,000, 7 years ago. That's not the point. That's exactly the point, Mom. She sat on my couch, defeated. He's been so stressed about money. His consulting business isn't doing well. I know, I saw his LinkedIn. He's calling himself my partner to get clients. She looked up. What? Check his profile, senior partner, Thompson Legal. Except he's never worked there. He wouldn't. He did. Long silence. She stared at her hands. What happens now? Rick fixes this. Or I do. She stood, walked to the door, left without another word. Next morning, unknown number. I answered. Marcus Thompson. Mr. Thompson? This is Justin from Liberty Auto Group, calling about your father Richard Thompson's truck loan. Stepfather, and I have nothing to do with his truck loan. Well, sir, he listed you as business partner on his loan application. Used Thompson Legal as income verification. I went very still. What? His application states he's 30% owner of your law firm. Expected annual income $75,000 from partnership distributions. We need to verify there is no partnership. I'm sorry? Richard Thompson is not my partner, not my employee, not affiliated with my firm in any capacity. Long silence on his end. So the income documentation is fraudulent. Oh, that's not good. No, it's not. You should talk to your fraud department. Hung up. Immediately emailed Jennifer. Rick used my firm as income verification for truck loan. Dealership just called. How illegal is this? Response came in 30 seconds. Very. Want me to document? Already on it. That afternoon, Jennifer sent another email. Found more. Rick's LinkedIn now says Managing Partner. Changed this morning. His website lists Thompson Legal as sister firm. Found 3 client reviews on Google mentioning your firm by name. Marcus, he's been doing this for months. I leaned back in my chair, stared at the ceiling. Rick hadn't just lied at one family reunion. He'd built an entire fake business identity around my firm. Website, LinkedIn, client testimonials, all using my company's name and reputation. My phone rang. Uncle Joe. Marcus, just ran into Rick at Home Depot. He says you're suing him. Is that true? Not yet. What does that mean? Means I'm still deciding. Rick used Marcus's firm as collateral for a truck loan. Creative, sure. Legal? Not remotely. The truck had heated seats, though. Rick appreciated the irony later. From the bus. The family group chat sat at 43 unread messages. I'd been avoiding it since the reunion. Tuesday evening, I finally opened it. Thompson family, 42 members. Aunts, uncles, cousins, distant relatives I saw once a year. Scrolled up to see what I'd missed. Aunt Linda, Saturday night. So proud of Marcus and Rick, true partners. Cousin Jamie, Sunday. Does this mean Rick's retiring from consulting? Rick Sunday. Afternoon. Couldn't have done it without family support? Prayer hands emoji. Mom. Sunday. Evening. My husband and son, building legacy together. 3 red hearts. Uncle Joe. Monday. When's the celebration dinner? 127 messages of congratulations. Questions about the firm. Questions about Rick's role. Everyone treating it like established fact. I took a breath. Started typing. Hi everyone. Regarding partnership announcement at reunion. There is no partnership. Never has been. I paid Rick $28,000 for help he provided 7 years ago. He has no ownership in my firm. Please see attached documentation. Attached Jennifer's financial summary. 12 pages. Attached LLC formation documents. 3 pages showing sole ownership. Hit send. Phone started buzzing immediately. Cousin Jamie. Wait, what? Aunt Linda. Marcus, is this a joke? Uncle Joe. Then 2 notifications in quick succession. Richard Thompson left the group. Sarah Thompson left the group. The messages exploded. 30 messages in 2 minutes. Everyone talking over each other, asking questions, demanding explanations. I muted the chat. Put phone face down on the table. Damage done. Truth out. Wednesday afternoon, my phone rang. Uncle Joe. Marcus, I'm at Rick's house right now. You need to know what's happening. What's happening? Tow truck just took his Silverado. Rick's outside in his bathrobe arguing with the driver. Your mom's on the porch crying. I sat very still. Dealership repossessed it? Yeah. Driver said the loan was approved under fraudulent information. Uncle Joe's voice got quiet. Jesus, Marcus, what did Rick do? Told them he owns 30% of my firm. Use that as income verification for the truck loan. But he doesn't own anything. Correct. So he committed fraud. Correct. Silence on his end. I could hear voices in the background. Rick shouting something. The tow truck engine. Is Rick going to jail? Not if he fixes this quietly. And if he doesn't? Then yeah, probably. Uncle Joe breathed out slow. Your mom didn't know, did she? I don't think so. This is bad. I know. For what it's worth, you're not wrong here. Thanks, Uncle Joe. But this is going to tear the family apart. It already did. I'm just showing people the rip. Next morning, Mom texted, "Can we talk, please, in person?" I suggested coffee shop, neutral territory. Showed up 10 minutes early, got my usual. Sat in the corner booth facing the door. Mom walked in, looking like she hadn't slept in days. Eyes puffy, hair pulled back in a messy ponytail. Ordered tea at the counter. Brought it to the table without drinking it. Rick's been lying to me. I know. For how long? About the partnership? Couple months at least. About using my firm's name for his business? Maybe longer. She stirred the tea without looking at it. He showed me documents, papers with your firm's letterhead, partnership agreements. I never signed anything. I believe you. She finally looked up. I should have asked you directly. Instead, I believed him. Long pause. She wrapped both hands around the cup. The truck was my idea. What? I told him we should get a new truck, celebrate the partnership. I pushed him to do it. Mom, he said you'd already agreed. He said the money would be coming soon. Her voice cracked. I feel so stupid. You're not stupid. He's a good liar. How did I not see it? Because you loved him. Love makes people blind. She stared at her tea. Do you hate him? No, but I don't trust him. That's worse, isn't it? Yeah. She set down the cup, looked at me directly. I think I need to leave him. I'm sorry. Don't be. You were right about everything. Friday morning, 8 a.m. Office barely open. Jessica buzzed my desk, voice panicked. Marcus, Rick's here. I told him you're busy, but he's… Marcus, Rick's voice from the hallway. I stepped out of my office. He was already halfway down the hall. Jessica standing helpless at the reception desk. Rick, this is a workplace. You need to leave. 5 minutes, please. I'm begging you. He looked worse than Tuesday. Same wrinkled shirt, hadn't shaved, hands shaking. Against better judgment. 5 minutes. Door stays open. We went into my office. Jessica hovered nearby. Rick sat without invitation. I'll fix everything. I'll tell everyone it was a misunderstanding. It wasn't a misunderstanding. It was a lie. I'll change my LinkedIn, take down the website, tell all my clients the truth. Your clients already know. Dealership called me to verify. I told them the truth. His face went white. You didn't have to do that. They asked if you were my partner. I said no. That's not optional honesty. My truck got repossessed. Because the loan was fraudulent. I have payments. I put money down with… He stopped. With what, Rick? Where'd you get the down payment? Silence. You borrowed that too, didn't you? Thought the partnership money would cover it. I just needed to get through a few months until what? Until partnership money that doesn't exist materialized? Marcus, please. He was sweating. Just sign something, anything, saying we're partners. It doesn't have to be real, just enough to show the bank. So commit more fraud to cover up existing fraud? Just this once. No, get out. I'll lose everything. You're losing things you paid for with lies. That's different than losing everything. He stood slowly, walked to the door, turned back. I helped you once. And I paid you twice. We're square. He left. Jessica looked at me with wide eyes. I went back to my desk like nothing happened. That afternoon I Googled Richard Thompson Business Consultant. Found his website immediately. rbconsulting.com. The header image showed a professional office. Not his actual office. Stock photo. Legal and business consulting in large text. About page. Senior partner at Thompson Legal with over 20 years business experience, specializing in legal document review, contract negotiation, and business formation. Services section listed things Rick wasn't qualified to do, wasn't licensed to do. Testimonials at the bottom. Rick's connections at Thompson Legal were invaluable. Client MR. Contact information at the footer. My office address. My firm's address listed as his business location. I checked the domain registration. 14 months old. Rick had been running this for over a year. Kept searching. Found his Yelp page. RB Consulting. Affiliated with Thompson Legal. 3 reviews mentioning my firm by name. Google business listing, same address. 5-star rating. 8 reviews. LinkedIn articles Rick had written. As managing partner of a litigation firm, drawing on my experience at Thompson Legal, called Jennifer, how deep does this go? I've been tracking since Tuesday. Found 6 clients who paid Rick retainers, totaling $83,000. $83,000? He told them he could fast-track their cases through his firm, your firm, the one he doesn't work for. Jesus. This isn't family drama, Marcus. This is systematic business fraud. What do you want to do? I stared at my screen. Rick's smiling headshot on his fake website. Document everything. I need to see the total scope. Saturday afternoon. Uncle Joe's backyard again. Different energy than the reunion. He'd called it an emergency family meeting. 20 people showed up. Notably absent, Rick and Mom. Everyone sat in lawn chairs. Awkward tension thick enough to cut. Marcus, Uncle Joe said, explain what happened, your side. I stood, pulled printed documents from a folder. Rick loaned me $8,000 7 years ago. I paid him back $10,000. Here's the bank record. Passed around copies. I hired Rick for 6 months consulting at $3,000 per month. $18,000 total. Here are his invoices, with his signatures. More copies circulating. Here's my LLC formation. Marcus Thompson, sole owner. No amendments, no partners. Cousin Tom studied the documents. These are his signatures? Yes. Aunt Linda. So you paid him back? With a 25% bonus, then hired him professionally and paid market rate. I pulled out more papers. Here's Rick's LinkedIn, claims he's senior partner. Here's his website, uses my office address. Here are reviews from his clients mentioning my firm. The papers made the rounds. Long silence as people read. He used your address? Cousin Tom looked up. That's fraud. Aunt Linda? Why would he lie about all this? Money, recognition, both. Uncle Joe examined the bank records. You really paid him back 7 years ago? With interest? Yes, Cousin Jamie. So the 30% never existed. He made it up. Uncomfortable silence. People shifting in chairs, looking at each other. Uncle Joe, what happens to Rick now? Depends. If his clients sue him. If the dealership presses charges. If he stops using my firm's name. Aunt Linda. And Sarah, your mom? She's deciding whether to stay with him. More silence. Then Uncle Joe stood. For the record, you're not the scumbag here. Several heads nodded. Thanks, Uncle Joe. Sunday evening. Knock on my door. Mom stood there with a small rolling suitcase. Can I stay here tonight? I stepped aside. Let her in. She sat on my couch, set the suitcase by the door. I left him. I sat in the chair across from her. What happened? Confronted him about everything. The website, the fake clients, the loans he took out promising to pay people back when the partnership finalized. What did he say? That he was trying to impress me, wanted to prove he was successful. By pretending to own my business. Yeah. She laughed without humor. He's broke, Marcus. Completely broke. Consulting business makes maybe $30,000 a year. He's borrowed money from friends. Told them the partnership payout was coming. How much does he owe? 50,000? Maybe more? All based on a lie he invented. She looked at her hands. He begged me to ask you, to verify the partnership, just temporarily, until he figures things out. What did you tell him? I told him I'm not asking my son to commit fraud for my husband's ego. First time she'd ever chosen me over Rick. Something loosened in my chest. I'm proud of you, Mom. I'm ashamed I didn't see it sooner. He's good at lying. Not good enough, apparently. You figured it out immediately. I'm a lawyer. I check documents. She smiled sadly. I married a con artist. You married someone who became one. That's different. She stood. Hugged me. First real hug in months. No tension, no guilt. Just mom and son. Guest room's ready, I said. Stay as long as you need. Thank you. She went upstairs. I heard the door close quietly. Sat in my living room. Thought about Rick on those deck stairs. Index card in hand. Announcing a partnership to 40 people. Partnership he'd built in his head. Built so thoroughly, he'd convinced himself it was real. My phone buzzed. Jennifer. Saw your mom's car, she okay? She left Rick, staying here. Good for her. Yeah. You okay? Yeah, surprisingly okay. Get some sleep, Monday's gonna be busy. Always is. Marcus's mother lost a husband but regained clarity. Sometimes the trade-off is worth it. She slept better in her son's guest room than she had in months at home. Turns out peace of mind doesn't require a mortgage. My new office had windows, corner suite, third floor, view of downtown. 6 months after the reunion, Thompson Legal hit $890,000 in annual revenue. Best year we'd ever had. I'd hired 2 new associates. David handled contract disputes. Sarah specialized in business formation. Both good lawyers, both cheaper than partners. The irony wasn't lost on me. David knocked on my open door. Client consultation in 10. Business formation. Guy wants bulletproof partnership agreements. I smiled. Send him in when ready. You're enjoying this, aren't you? Enjoying what? The partnership dispute specialty. Rick basically gave you a whole practice area. Rick gave me a case study. I built the practice area. He laughed. Left to prep the conference room. Funny thing about Rick's mess. It made me a better lawyer. Clients started seeking me out specifically. Heard you handled family business fraud. Heard you know how to protect against partnership claims. Heard you're the guy who documents everything. Built my reputation on Rick's failure. The universe has a sense of humor. Saturday morning. Same Starbucks. Same corner booth. Weekly ritual now. Mom arrived exactly on time. Divorce finalized 3 months ago. She got the house. Rick got the debt and his consulting business that barely existed. How's work? She asked. Good. Hired another associate last week. Firm should break $1 million next year. I'm proud of you. Thanks, Mom. She stirred her coffee, not drinking it, just stirring. Rick called yesterday. My hand tightened on my cup. What did he want? To apologize. Said he's in therapy now. That's good. He's working at Home Depot, still paying back those clients. Will take him years. Yeah. She finally looked up. He asked if I'd talk to you. See if you'd write a letter to the Bar Association, character reference. What did you tell him? That it's your decision, not mine. I'm not writing the letter. I figured. He committed fraud, Mom, multiple times, used my firm's name, took money from clients under false pretenses. I know. Comfortable silence. Different than before. No tension, no guilt. Just mom and son having coffee. You look good, I said. I feel good. First time in years. Yeah? Turns out leaving a liar is good for your sleep schedule. We both smiled. 3 weeks later, I was loading office supplies into my car. Target parking lot. Late afternoon. Marcus. I turned. Rick stood 10 feet away. Home Depot apron over a polo shirt. On break, probably. We stared at each other. Haven't spoken since that Friday in my office. How are you? He asked. Good. You? Been better? Awkward silence. I set a box in my trunk. I'm sorry, he said. For everything. First real apology. Took him 7 months. Okay. I convinced myself I deserved it. The partnership, the recognition. Told myself so many times I started believing it. You convinced yourself a lot of things, he nodded. The clients I took money from, using your firm's name, that was wrong. You didn't steal from me, you stole from them, using me. Right. Yeah. I'm paying them back now, all of them. Another pause. Cars driving past, shopping carts rattling. Do you hate me? He asked. Honest answer. No, but we're not family anymore. He processed that. Nodded slowly. I understand. Turned and walked back toward Home Depot. Orange apron visible until he disappeared through the automatic doors. I watched him go. Waited to feel something. Anger. Satisfaction. Vindication. Felt nothing. Just empty space where a relationship used to be. Loaded the last box. Drove back to the office. Tuesday morning, conference room, new client consultation, young woman, 29, entrepreneur. Nervous energy. Thank you for seeing me, Mr. Thompson. Marcus, what's going on? My uncle says he's entitled to 20% of my business. Familiar song, different singer. Did he invest? He lent me $10,000 3 years ago. I paid him back $12,000, with interest. And now he wants 20%? He says his guidance was crucial. That I owe him. I pulled out a legal pad. Let's document what actually happened, then what he claims happened. Then we'll show him the difference. You think that'll work? I know it will. Done this before. With an uncle. With a stepfather. Same story, different relatives. We spent an hour building her case. Timeline of the loan, repayment records, LLC formation showing sole ownership. Same documentation strategy I'd used with Rick. She left looking relieved. Thank you. That's really good advice. Learned it the hard way. After she left, I sat in the empty conference room, stared at the notes I'd taken. Rick wasn't unique, just predictable. Entitled relatives claiming ownership of businesses they didn't build. There was an entire practice area in that. An entire specialty. Thanks, Rick. Sincerely. 1 year after the reunion. Evening. Small celebration in the conference room. Pizza, beer, the whole team. 6 people now, growing. Jennifer stood at the head of the table. Laptop open. Annual revenue, $1.2 million. Everyone applauded. 15% growth year over year. Biggest growth area, partnership dispute cases. David raised his beer. All because of Rick. Thank Rick for the case study, I said. Everyone laughed. Sarah, you literally turned family drama into a business model. Documentation is universal. Doesn't matter if it's family or corporation. Lies don't hold up to paperwork. Jennifer. Speaking of Rick, his clients finished paying restitution last month. All 6 of them. $78,000 total. He actually did it? Took him 14 months. Worked overtime at Home Depot. But yeah, he paid everyone back. Good for him. And I meant it. Rick had made his mess. Then cleaned it up. Slowly, expensively. But he'd done it. The team kept celebrating. Talking about next year's goals, expansion plans, New practice areas. I looked around the table. This firm, built from nothing, grew through work, documentation, honest relationships with clients, everything Rick had pretended existed. I'd made real, late afternoon, 1 year and 2 weeks after the reunion. Sitting at my desk, photo frame next to my laptop, law school graduation, me and mom. Taken before Rick entered our lives. Simpler time. Sarah knocked. New client consultation scheduled for tomorrow. Brother-in-law claiming he deserves equity for mentorship. Set it up. Let's see his documentation. You got it. She left. I opened a new case file. Thought about Rick on those deck stairs. Index card in his hand. 30% each. 10% trust fund. Numbers he'd invented out of desperation and delusion. Those numbers destroyed his marriage, his reputation, his business, his relationship with my mother, with me. My firm was now everything Rick had claimed it was. Successful, growing, respected. Difference was I'd built it honestly. Phone rang. Mom. Hey, Mom. Just calling to say goodnight and that I'm proud of you. Thanks, Mom. Love you. Love you too. Hung up. Went back to the case files. Firm to run. Clients to serve. Business to build. Rick wanted credit for my success. Wanted recognition. Wanted money he hadn't earned. Got credit for fraud instead. Got recognition as a cautionary tale. Got debt he's still paying off. Me? I protected what I built. Then built it bigger. Turns out documentation beats desperation every single time. Rick helped Marcus once. Marcus paid him back twice. Rick wanted a third payday worth $225,000. Turns out gratitude has a statute of limitations. Rick missed the deadline by about 7 years and one delusional reunion speech. Marcus learned something valuable, though. The best revenge isn't dramatic confrontation. It's documentation. Less cinematic, sure, but way more legally binding.